Hello, I'm Jade. What we're talking about today is an aspect of grammar. When is it okay to say somebody's name and then followed by and me or and I or and myself? This is an aspect of grammar that native speakers get confused about, but more than just confused about, they completely avoid sentences where they might say your friend's name and me. They completely avoid it because in British English, at least, it does have this association with being common language, not being posh language. And people avoid it because they don't want to sound common. But actually, there's a lot of misunderstanding about it. Saying and me is really, really judged. When if you use it in the grammatically correct way, there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying and me. In fact, sometimes the people are wrong because they try to avoid it. So what you will learn in this lesson, if you're a native speaker, you'll not be confused anymore. But if you're learning English as well, maybe you had a confusion about it and you didn't really understand why it's different sometimes. So you'll learn and you won't be confused anymore. So let's check what you already know. I've got some example sentences. Let's see if they're right. Let's see if they're wrong. Me and Tom went skiing. How does that one sound to you? Do you think that one's right? This one is wrong. This one is wrong. We're going to look at why later, but this one is wrong. Second one. Amjad and me played football. How is this one? This one is wrong. Slightly better than the first because it's considered more polite to put the other person before yourself. So it's slightly better in that respect, but still wrong. Next example. My mum and I went for lunch. What do you think about that one? Is that one okay? This one's okay. What about this one? I and Janet study French. How does that one feel? Well, actually, this one just sounds wrong. It should be swapped. If we say Janet and I, it's okay, but no one would really say it like that. And this example, more and more people are saying myself because I think they're a bit... I have to show you something else. In British English, if you say and I all the time, it makes you sound quite grand and a little bit posh. And not everybody wants to use that language. Not everybody wants to feel like they're using elegant language. And for them, they don't like to say it. So it's being replaced a lot with myself. Someone might say my mum and myself. So here's an example. Myself and Leo are going on holiday. How is this? Well, with myself, you can put it first or you can put it second. You can change the position. It's okay. My feeling about myself is also that it's a little bit too formal just for everyday conversation. So I personally don't use it. I prefer the other two ways of saying it, either the name and I or me, as we will get to in a minute. So when we come back, we're going to look at the actual grammar. Why can we say it and I sometimes, or why can we say and me sometimes? Let's take a look at the grammatical reason why there's a difference, and sometimes we say and I and sometimes we say and me. Well, it all comes down to the position of the pronoun you're talking about. So if the sentence is correct if I is in the subject position. So I'm talking about grammar now. How do you know it's in the subject position? Well, you find the verb, the main verb. Here's the main verb. And then if it's before the main verb, then it's in the subject position. But if it's after the main verb, it's in the object position. So we have a name and we have I. I is a pronoun. These are both in the subject position. So this one's correct. These are all correct here as examples, but we'll go through them one by one. My husband and I like gardening. Where's the main verb in there? Like is the main verb. Let's have a look at the subject position then. My husband also I in the subject position. This one is fine also. A new example. Ryan, Paul and I share a flat. You can have more than one name in a list and then have it followed by I. That's absolutely fine. Main verb is share. Everything before share is in the subject position. I is in the subject position. It's okay. And this example is a question. Shall Sarah and I help with the dishes? Shall is a verb, but it's not the main verb. Help is the main verb. Everything before help is in the subject position. So Sarah, the name, is in the subject position, but also I is in the subject position. So of course this one's okay. Now, when can we say me? When can we say me? The thing that confuses everyone. We can say me if it's in the object position. So let's take a look and compare. Sheila invited Stacey and me. How do we know if it's in the object position? Well, we find the main verb. Remember, before it's to the left of the verb. Well, this time the object position is to the right of the verb. So Stacey is a name, and me is in the object position. So it's right. It's right. It's okay. You can say it. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry that people are going to think you're common because you're saying it correctly. Next example. My boss asked me to stay late. Where's the main verb there? Because it's a little bit confusing because there are two verbs. Well, the main verb is asked, and this is just the continuation of the sentence in the present simple. So this is the second verb. It's not the main verb. Everything before the main verb, subject. After the main verb, we're talking about the object position now, and there's only me there. There's only one pronoun. That's your object. There's no other name here or anything, so me is absolutely fine. Next example. Tom's sister reminded Jane and me to feed the cat. Again, no full stop. What's our main verb? Reminded is our main verb here. So let's mark that. What's the subject? Well, the subject position is Tom's sister. What's in the object position? First of all, Jane, the name, is in the object position, and that's followed by me as a pronoun. So again, this one's okay. We don't need to worry about that. We can say that. And let's look at the question form. Will Alex apologise to Chris and me? When we're asking questions, the first question word or verb, that's not the main verb. The main verb here is apologise. To the left of the main verb, here's the subject. We don't see me there, so there's no problem there. In the object position, do we see me? Yes, we see me. But what we're going to do just now is find a way to check if your sentences are right. Because if you're still not that confident using and me, when you've got this check, you'll be okay whenever you're writing in English. And then after, when you've said it lots of times, when you've written it loads of times and you feel more comfortable, you'll be more comfortable in speech also. So how to check that it's okay to say and I, or it's okay to say and me. So you don't even need to worry about subject and object. There's an easier way. Let's have a look at the easy way. So you remove the other name from the sentence, and if it makes sense, then it's okay. But if it sounds wrong, you've got it the wrong way around. So we'll go through some examples here. Tom and I went to the party. We want to keep I there because we're checking to see if it's okay here in this position. So I'm going to remove the other name. Just use my finger, rub it out. Does it make sense? I went to the party. Yes, it makes sense. Correct. So I'll give it a tick. And what about this one? Tom and me went to the party. We're going to keep me in, remove the other name. Does it make sense? Me went to the party. It's okay in different varieties of English, but not British or American English. It's definitely not standard. It's wrong. And, what's this one? This one's terrible. Me and Tom went to the party. This is the one that, it's a really common one that really scares some people, and they don't like to say that. So you hear it, but this is the one that I'm talking about that people really don't like. So we don't need to check that one. Next one. Sheila invited Stacey and me. Okay, there's more than one name here, so what do? We want to know if me is right. So let's take away the name closest to it, because it's either in the subject position or the object position with me. So we don't want it. By the way, it's in the object position. Does it make sense without it? Sheila invited me. Does it make sense? Yes. And our last example. Sheila invited Stacey and I. We've got the same thing happening. We've got more than one name. So we need to remove the name closest to the pronoun. Does it make sense when I remove that? Does it make sense? Sheila invited I. No, not okay. So, should be clearer to you now. When you get more familiar with the structure and you're saying it in speech, it does become a natural thing after a while. You don't need to think about it. There's a quiz for you to do. You can go to engvid.com and do the quiz, and then you don't need to be worried about all this. Is it posh? Is it common stuff? You can say it with confidence whenever you say name and me. You don't need to worry. If you like my video, please do subscribe to my engVid channel. Really appreciate it. Plus, you can subscribe to my personal channel, because I've got 2 YouTube channels. On my personal channel, there's more than 200 videos there, so you can learn loads and loads and loads and loads of stuff from me. I'm finished now, but please come and watch me again. And yeah, bye-bye.